All right, welcome to the second episode of the Brian and Rob Show. On this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the splashdown. We're going to talk about some the North Carolina State Bill number 50, the Freedom to Carry Act, and we're going to talk a little bit about the North versus South, the way we drive, and how opposite of the way we do things.
So let's jump right in.
Well, we're also probably going to have a couple stories or stories.
I guarantee you we'll have a couple of stories.
Rob likes to say it.
Let's jump right in, though. Let me ask you what you think about the NC State Bill 50, the Senate Bill 50. It's called the Freedom to Carry, and it allows 18-year-olds to carry a handgun concealed without any permit.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how I feel about that, because an 18-year-old, their emotions are so freaking crazy and upside down, and they're going to get mad at each other. They're going to pull a gun out and start shooting. But I'm also a very strong component of being able to carry a weapon.
I agree with being able to carry a firearm, right? The right to bear arms, absolutely. But I also believe you should have training before carrying, especially a concealed weapon. Christopher, my son's 19. He's been handling guns forever, it seems like, and has posted videos on how to properly use a firearm.
That's right.
So he's had training, not from me, not from fucking, a state somewhere where you have to do 8 hours for your concealed, but I still believe you should have some kind of training and knowledge of that weapon before you carry it, especially concealed.
I kind of agree with that. And, I'm not about shunning my rights to carry or anything like that, but I do think, and what, we have 18-year-olds in the military, but those guys are getting trained with those weapons.
That's exactly right.
And there's a difference, because you just can't go pull it out and start showing everybody, and not, because some people don't understand, you don't point it at anybody, because you don't know if that thing's going to engage and fire. And
I bet I could take 50 18-year-olds that never held a gun and ask them how to put the safety on. And I guarantee you half of them couldn't tell me how to put the fucking safety on.
Absolutely not.
But I mean, we went to Academy Sports a while back to buy Christopher a new gun, and Christopher couldn't even purchase a handgun because he was 18 years old. He had to be 21 to purchase it.
Right. He could buy a rifle, though, right?
He could buy a rifle, but he couldn't purchase a handgun.
Or a shotgun, I don't know.
But this law allows him to carry a handgun that he can't even purchase at Academy Sports.
Is that going to change with that law too?
I don't. There's nobody said anything about it that I can read, and I've been reading all over for it.
Well, are they doing away if you have that? Are they doing away with the background checks as well?
No, you can't do away with the background checks. North Carolina did away with the permits, so you don't have to have a permit to buy a rifle or pistol anymore. They just do the background check at the store. That's been done away with.
And I don't even know how good the background checks are.
I think they did away with it in 2023. But I mean, it's a federal background check to see if you got basically a felony.
Right. And I don't know how I feel about that. Me personally, I don't know if I want an 18-year-old carrying a concealed weapon.
Well, and like you were talking about earlier, all the hoops you would have to jump through to redo yours here.
Yeah, that. I mean, renewing your concealed carry is a painstaking thing to do. I know it is here where we're living, and I guess I could say Lenoir County, because it's a hassle to have to go and do it. And I don't know if they do that on purpose so
I would think so.
They do it on purpose so maybe you can't get it, so you don't have a concealed carry anymore. I don't know. I don't know what the
It'll be interesting to see if this law passes or not. I tell you what, I just know how I feel. I mean, I'm a big advocate for guns. Everybody should be able to bear arms, but I also believe you should have training if you're going to carry it concealed.
Absolutely. And by the way, welcome to the Brian and Rob Show. This is our first video cast.
Oh, we got it right.
Thank you. So now you can see us
live and in Technicolor.
And as we go on, it'll get a little better with what we got going on with the picture and everything. So stay tuned to that. So you for or against that bill, Rob?
I am against it.
I think I kind of am too, and never would have thought I would have said that because I am. I mean, I'm a big proponent of being able to carry my weapon. If I'm anywhere that I go, I know we can't carry it on federal premises or state premises or state parks or anything like that. Um, which I don't necessarily like that either because
Well, if you want to carry your pistol with you, you can open carry anywhere, right?
you cannot carry a weapon on state
On
grounds.
state grounds, that's right. I mean, you can walk into damn Walmart with an open
Yes,
carry,
absolutely.
right? But the only thing I have a problem with the bill is when you get a concealed carry license, you go through 8 hours of training, and you hit that target. You are set for being able to carry a weapon,
Right.
right? Where this doesn't, anybody can do it. Fuck it. I mean, I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. I just maybe if I mean, and there's people that are, let's say you change the limit to 21. There's still people that are 21 that don't know a freaking thing about a gun, and
I know some bitches that are 35 years old that shouldn't
And-
have a gun in their hand.
right, right, and I have a gun. I take it with me just about anywhere I go for my protection because this is the problem with not being able to carry your gun because people know you don't have a gun, and where are they going to go if they're going to start shooting where you're not supposed to have a gun? Then what are you supposed to do? You supposed to go hide behind a desk? Well, no, thank you. I'll take my gun and I'll protect myself.
Yeah, we were that training we were in the other day. I ain't gonna say where we're at and all that, but they were like, if you see an active shooter, what are you supposed to do?
Run.
Run and hide.
No.
Fuck that! I'm gonna pull my gun out and start shooting back.
I know, absolutely. That's the way I think too. But their property, their rules, and
Yeah.
we gotta do what we gotta do to make a living. Unfortunately, so we do have to go by those rules.
Yeah.
Although it's hard, I'm tell you. So we're gonna you want to change lanes a little bit, talk about splashdown maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think everybody realized our opinion. I just wanted to tell what I thought about
Well,
it. And
I mean,
if anybody
me too.
agrees or disagrees, you're welcome to say on the thing there on your comments whether you agree or disagree. I appreciate any feedback though, and if you agree to this law, please tell me why you agree, because I would like to know the other opinion as well.
And if you disagree, let us know too. Just leave us a comment. Also, give us a shot. Subscribe to us. Subscribe to the channel and
Hit that like button.
hit that like button. Absolutely. And our subjects are going to change probably every podcast, so we're not going to talk about a specific thing every time. So like politics or whatever, we may introduce a little bit of it, but it's not going to be we're just going to kind of pick a couple topics and we're going to talk about it for the day. So it's going to be a different topic every time we come on.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about these damn astronauts.
Yeah, how about that? I watched that.
Crazy.
Came down and splashed in the ocean. That reminded me of like back. What was the first one? The Apollos.
Yeah.
When they came in, we had the freaking space shuttle. Flew like an airplane. They could come in, fly, land it, whatever. Why the heck are we going back to 1960s where we're splashing down in the ocean?
Well, those are pinpoint drop downs. The ones that we had in the '60s weren't pinpoint. They knew about where they were going to drop down.
Right, but we're still dropping. We're still dropping. Why do we not? Why do we give up on the space shuttle when that seemed? I mean, I know one blew up in the middle of the sky, but
Challenger.
The Challenger, and I actually saw that happen on live TV.
I was in middle school and we watched it blow up too. So
And
the teacher was on board.
But that kind of stuff, those astronauts and all those people that do that stuff, it's dangerous. It's just dangerous.
Well, let me ask you a question
never
while
know
we're on
what
this
could
topic. I
happen.
mean, I feel for these people that you believe in the moon landing. I don't. You can't tell me that technology in the 1960s was accurate enough to be able to land on the moon. And now we've got technology that's so far surpassed that it's right in your telephone, right?
Well, the question is,
that
if we-
ain't going back. I can't get back.
we did it once, right? They say we did it once.
Yeah,
All right. So why have we not done it since?
and that was in the 60s.
And that was in the 60s.
Because
Why
Kennedy said we're going to the moon.
That's right. So
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
I don't know.
I think it's a damn lie, personally, but
I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be one of those.
I think that's one of them Hollywood shoot things. I know everybody got their opinion on it, but I
Is
can't
anybody got
believe.
a telescope long enough that'll go close enough to maybe see that flag they planted?
You know, the technology that we got in our phone would fill this damn house up in the 1960s and switch gears and computers.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that we don't have the technology to get back now that we had in the 1960s. That is crazy.
I agree with that. You know, at first I didn't. When I go back and look at everything, you know, it does kind of make you question what's going on. You know, we went the one time. Why have we not been back?
Well, yeah, and everybody talks about it, but every 10 years you normally have a boom in technology and stuff like that. And I mean, we're to the point now that you've got these these supercomputers that can calculate, you know, quicker than anything in the world. And come on now, for real.
Yeah. But you know, I understand that the splashdown, that was a, you know, Elon Musk private.
Yeah, that's a Boeing lit their ass now.
You know, that's a private company, and I get that. You know, but I saw something. I don't even know if it's real, but Elon Musk made this other plane.
I don't think that thing's real.
I don't think it is. It looked kind
I
of
think
generated.
That's clickbait and all that shit.
I still think, why in the world can we not have, if we have aircraft that can fly to the edge of the Earth?
We've had that since the 40s.
Right? Since the edge of the atmosphere. Why can't they make one that'll just go on up and go into space?
Well, that's what what's his name did. The one that was like a giant penis. What's his name? What's the man's name? Yeah, you do. Jeff Bezos. That's it.
Can we edit that out?
That's what his spaceship says.
I know.
But it goes past the atmosphere and then hangs up there for a couple of minutes and it comes back down.
Yeah, but that's not going to. Okay, but why can't we have a jet engine aircraft fly into the atmosphere and go through that atmosphere into space and be the ship like the space shuttle without all those rocket boosters and everything? Why can't they just go to the edge of the atmosphere and just go ahead and go up into space?
I'm not a Star Trek engineer, so I don't know.
Well, I'm not either, but you would think with the technology that we have today, you know, that would be possible.
Yeah, I would think so, but I mean, you know, obviously we don't. But yes, the U-tube that's been around since the 40s can fly into the upper atmosphere, into the hemisphere of the Earth and see the curvature of the Earth and all that.
Right.
That's our spy plane.
But
these astronauts, when they come back, I was reading on that some of the things that they were having to go through, evidently in the what's going on?
I'm sorry, that was nothing.
All right, never mind that. So when they're up there in the space station, that they have what's called microgravity, and the fluids that normally settle in your legs and lower parts of your body on them float up. And when they get back to Earth, it causes dizziness, faintness, all kinds of crazy mess. And that's why they can't move around as good as they do when they get here, and they have to readjust to the Earth's gravity and all that shit.
Well, what do you think about the people that are saying, well, they could have came back in? There's another, you know, a spaceship up there or something that can get them home if they wanted to come home. Well, if that's the case, why didn't they get them home?
Well, it says right here that Boeing engineers discovered a technical issue on the spacecraft, the Starline, that wasn't able to get them back home safely.
But is that the emergency escape thing that they said was?
That's the one that was supposed to bring them home.
Right.
And evidently,
but they said they have another one up there that they could have came home anytime they wanted to. Well, if that's the case, why didn't they come home anytime they wanted to? I don't know. I call bullcrap on that, and it might be there, but you know, from what I understand, the lady that was up there, she was starting to have some health issues, and she really did need to get back home.
I think her name was Sunny, right?
I think so, yeah. And so what? You know, thank God it wasn't an actual emergency, but from what I understand, if she'd have stayed up there longer, it would have got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And coming back to Earth and getting into gravity and everything at that point, how is that gonna make her even get worse?
Hopefully not. I
The
mean,
adjusting back to gravity.
some of that stuff I was reading that they were having problems up there was they have evidently the way they have to wash and everything else and hygiene and whatnot, that they're limited and stuff, and they
Right.
get this rash all over them and break out in hives and shit like that. And
Right.
they, that gets worse and worse the longer they stay there.
Well, I wouldn't want to have to go through that. I'm glad they got back home safe. Even if they did splash down in the ocean, that was a pretty cool scene though, with them splashing down and the dolphins were swimming around them.
Yeah, her name was Sunny Williams,
Um,
or is, not was.
but
But anyhow, that's I mean, I was watching that on TV, watching them come out in the Gordon fisherman boots. Astronaut suits has changed since the 80s, I guess.
yeah, obvious. I don't know if the capsule. I mean, I still kind of get disappointed. Well, why in the heck are we still splashing down in the ocean with the technology the way it is?
I don't know, because I thought he said
we already had a rocket booster come back down from space and land on the dang platform.
Yeah, I seen that too. That's what I was about to say. You landed the rocket boosters on this platform. You ought to be able to land that thing on a platform.
You would think, but
I seen it coming down there, and he got right there at the water, go, and then it just eased on down.
Yeah.
But if it did that,
but maybe that
and eased on that,
maybe that pod can't hold fuel.
It did. It flames come out.
No, not the one that splashed down in the ocean.
Oh no. Maybe not. I don't know. We had to call Elon Musk. Elon Musk, if you're listening, call in and let us know.
Yeah, we're working on phone. I'm working on trying to get us a phone number for people to call in, but I think we need a little more. We can get a little more listeners, and then we could plan a day for call-ins. Let everybody know what day that's going to be, and but that kind of makes me nervous too, because if nobody calls in, we're kind of.
Everybody call in, their phone never ring. No, good Lord.
But
here it is.
If you want to send us, if you can make a comment on the YouTube channel, you can also send us an email at the Brian and Rob Show. That's a Brian with a Y. The Brian and Rob Show at Outlook.com. And
or just YouTube, look up Brian and Rob Show.
YouTube, Brian and Rob Show.
And by the way, I don't know if we said it, but that's Brian and I'm Rob. The good looking one.
I don't know why he thinks that. But that's okay. Rob is not lacking self-confidence. I'll give him that.
Right. And wait till I get drunk.
Yeah.
The more I drink, the more confidence I get. Sure enough. What else we gonna talk about now? We can talk about them damn drivers on the road.
Yeah, I mean, you go. So I don't know how many people have experienced traveling and all that kind of stuff, but you go to different parts of the country and they just drive differently. North Carolina, it starts sprinkling and people go crazy because they don't know how to drive in the rain. Not much less the snow.
Yeah, I'm about to say a dust and the snow, go to the grocery store and the bread and milk is wiped out.
Yeah, because they can't get to the grocery store that day, but the snow will be gone in a day.
We're talking about drivers the other day, and me and Chris was leaving the Lowe's parking lot, and the fella was waving us on, and I waved him, and he waved back at me. I said, all right, then. So I finally went. I looked at Chris, I said, it's only in the South that you find friendly drivers like that, because in our industry, a lot of times we have to travel, up and down, especially the East Coast. And I've been up there to D.C. and New Jersey and New York. Fuck them people. Oh, my God, that is some horrible drivers. And they are not friendly. I can tell you that right now.
They ain't gonna let you
wave
in.
at them to go in, you ain't got to wave. They go shoo.
That's right. You just, I tell you, I took a trip to New York, and, I'm from the South. I'm getting on the subway. And I'm just, I'm being nice. I'm letting ladies off and all this kind of stuff, right? And my wife at the time, she's like, "Oh no, you just got to go on. You just got to get in. You got to go on, because if the door shuts, you're going to be left standing on the platform." Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Well, okay." So started, when the door opened, you just go in, and if you run into somebody, you run into somebody. They don't care because that's just what happens, right? So I'm like, well, this is insane. So we're walking down New York, Times Square, and here I am again. I'm trying to step out of the way of people and be nice, and they weren't trying to get out of my way. So I said, you know what, this is stupid. I just started walking. I ain't gonna tell you how many people I ran into. They didn't care. They don't care.
Yeah, well, the worst driving I've ever seen was down in the Bahamas.
That was just walking. We ain't even talking about the traffic there.
And that is a hell of a story. So I was at the Atlantis, and it's about 20 minutes or so from the airport, right? And I got another story about the airport. We're gonna go into that right now. Almost got arrested in the Bahamas. But so when I'm leaving the hotel and headed back, I get me a taxi cab, and it's like a 1983 Mazda minivan, and it's just as raggedy as hell.
I'm barely running anyway.
It's barely running, and I think every car in the Bahamas has a dent in it. I don't think they have insurance. I ain't sure, but the way that the roads are set up, you got 2 or 3 lanes that are all one direction, and then way over here where you can't see is 2 or 3 lanes going the opposite direction. So, everybody's traveling the same way, right?
Right.
On 3 lanes, and they are zipping in and out. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
How'd they do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, Jesus Christ Almighty. I'm holding on to the back of the man's seat, and the man is zipping out of traffic. And the worst part of it is he's turning around and looking at me going, how do you do your trip, sir? And I'm like, oh my God, pay attention to the fucking road. You're going to kill us. Oh, it's okay. I'm good. We're good.
I think that's one of the reasons when I was down there, I didn't get in taxi cab.
And they don't have turn meters.
Right.
They don't have that. So you don't know how much it costs, right? To get to place to place.
Oh, you look like you got money. That's $100.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got to the I didn't know how much to get a man, right?
Right.
So I get up to the airport, and I pull $50 out of my pocket and said, "Is this good?" He said, "Oh, that's very good. Thank you, my friend."
You probably gave him a $30 tip.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy now. Yeah, but D.C., New York, New Jersey. Sorry, folks. In Pennsylvania, those places, I don't care to drive around at all.
Nah, those big cities, I don't.
ATL's just as bad. Charlotte's just as bad.
Yeah, Charlotte.
You got that one road that comes in, and if you drove it, everybody knows it on 77 that comes in backwards.
Yeah.
And you have to jump in there. You just can't slow down.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's our time on this, Chris?
23 minutes.
23 minutes?
Okay. All right.
All right. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap
up this session?
Yeah, in just a minute.
All right. Well, folks, I'm glad you got to see us. I'm glad you got to talk to us. Not talk to us, but hear us talk.
Yeah, eventually we'll be able to get you guys to call in and talk with us, because I think that'd be kind of interesting myself, because
I'd like to hear your stories.
Absolutely.
What you got to say.
And eventually we're going to get into some good, very, very good subjects, I think, because it's something that I want to talk about, but I can't talk about right now, but I want to.
It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. He's like itching on the head of his bear.
Yeah, it's everything I can do not to say anything and talk about it right now, but it's coming. So just stay tuned, hit that like button and subscribe, and you'll get to hear it eventually.
That's the TikTokers say that, right? Hit that like button.
Or hit the subscribe button even.
Yeah, I think they say all that. Hit all 3 of them buttons: subscribe, like, share, blah 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 blah. Yeah, make sure you hit the share button too, and send it to your friends and family. The ones that care to hear me, anyhow.
Can you pause that? Okay, I guess not. I've lost. I've lost. Yeah, thanks, Rob. So, unfortunately, I lost our music temporarily. So, we're just going to go ahead and sign off. We appreciate you joining us today, and join us back on the next one.
See you
we'll have
next
another
time.
one soon. Later.